I ran for the indicated truck and jumped into the passenger seat. The minion with me already had the engine running, and as soon as another minion closed the container doors, we were on our way. The driver aimed for the parking lot entrance and we almost made it. But then a blur crossed the lot in seconds and attacked the truck. First, a brick hit the windshield and cracked the glass. Then, the driver's side door flew open and my driver was pulled from his seat and flung 10 feet away. I was slammed into the front dashboard. When the blur hit the brake pedal, and then it was gone. Almost immediately, I heard gunfire as Imp engaged what must have been turbo. I was already shifting. As I got up from my seat and went for my driver, I didn't know how to drive this truck. He was outside on the floor, but luckily he was uninjured and I went to help him. I pulled him up from the ground and we ran for the truck. Him in front of me. The driver reached his seat and punched out the broken window, while I latched onto the door frame and held on as we started to move. Scanning for turbo as we did so. Apparently teleporting was a good defense against speed, because Imp was still firing away to try and keep Turbo away from the trucks, and every time Turbo tried to close on him, he simply moved his position and kept firing. But when the first truck began to move, Turbo predictably went after us again. And so when he tried to grab me, he triggered one of the whiskers I had been extending, and my leg automatically lashed out, breaking his leg. At least it slowed him down enough for Imp to get some clear shots. As Imp increased his barrage, my driver stomped the gas pedal and the truck swerved out onto the street, followed soon after by Truck 2, and the van full of minions. We quickly split up and went different directions, trying to make sure that the hero couldn't go after all of us. We traveled for several minutes before my driver spoke up. "Do you want to come back in the cab?" he asked. "That's okay. I'm good." "All right. Nice work back there. By the way." "Thank you. Is this how most jobs typically go?" The driver laughed and replied, "Yeah. Just about." Then he frowned as he noticed something in the sky and said, "And I don't think this one is over just yet." I followed his gaze, and hanging in the sky was a flying drone. This one had a purple glow to it as it slowly flew down to a closer position in front of us. "Would that be Magenta?" I asked the driver. "Yep." "Any details you can give me about her?" She makes that purplish force field around herself. It's strong and she can make weapons out of it too. Claws and swords and stuff. Oh, and she can fly, of course." "Understood. I'll try to lead her away. Be ready to drive." "You sure?" "Yeah." "How far away is Ashwood Street from here?" "About 25 blocks north." "Okay. Good luck. You too." I jumped down from the truck, and he started to drive away. Magenta started to fly after him. When I yelled as loud as I could, "If you don't stop me, I'm going to hurt people." Yeah, that got her attention. If the Guardian's behavior was typical of heroes, then she would prioritize coming after me rather than pursuing a truck. She did seem to hesitate for a second, so I took out my knife and waved it around. That helped her decide, and she accelerated towards me. I ran for it. I didn't really have the time or interest to grab a hostage, of course. The streets were almost empty, due to how late it was, and odd summer warnings. Instead, what I wanted to find was an entrance to the sewers. I swiveled my head backwards every now and then to keep an eye on her as I ran. She was moving just a bit too quickly for my liking. She wasn't a speedster, but flying was definitely faster than running. And even though I was running on all four limbs and burning fuel to stay ahead of her, she was still gaining fast. Yeah, this wasn't going to work. I ran for the nearest building, a multi-level apartment. I scanned the windows for a good candidate and ran straight for it. This one was lit, and showed two drones drinking what I assumed was coffee at a table. Swinging an arm forward, I shattered the glass and barreled into the room, heralded by screams from the two drones. I was wrong about the coffee. They were drinking tea. I knocked the table over as I entered, sending cups and glass flying. Now, If this apartment followed the same design principles as the ones Tim and Mikey lived in, then the entrance should be here. I smashed the door open, and then continued into a different apartment, smashing that door down too. At this point, I was using traction claws on all 4 limbs, and I used them to maintain speed. As I ducked around corners and smashed past random furniture, drones screamed everywhere. I busted out of the window in the new apartment and landed in the street on the new side of the building. Hopefully that would buy me a few moments as she checked the civilian drones for injury. Scanning the area, I found what I wanted, a manhole cover. I barreled towards it, and upon reaching it stuck a claw into the small hole maintenance drones used before wrenching it open. Then Magenta slammed into my side. Her force field was encasing her hands, making them look oversized, and she pummeled them into me. Each hit broke a bone. "Surrender now. You are under arrest," she yelled between hits. Instead of doing that, I swung the manhole cover into her face. It knocked her away, but her force field was indeed strong and she looked untouched, if a bit dazed. Touching the force field felt like I was sliding across wet glass, or being blown away by a strong wind. I settled for throwing the manhole cover at her and dived for the sewer entrance. I was almost there when she tackled me around the middle and pulled me to the ground. Damn, my torso was hanging over the hole, but she had a firm grip, and the force field was wrapping tighter by the second. I wasn't going anywhere unless... Please, not so tight. It hurts, I yelled. Yeah. Surrender before you hurt yourself, she replied. I triggered the micro units in the area she held me. They quickly self-destructed, rupturing the surrounding tissue and causing it to tear. My torso separated from my lower half with a spray of blood, and I made sure that some viscera spattered into her face. The force field blocked it, but it obscured her vision, as my upper half, and my core, fell into the safety of the darkness below. I listened to her yells as I fell, and lamented the fact that I hadn't been able to plan for this ahead of time. I lost a little more than half of my mass and resources to pull off that escape, and the loss stung. That Kobe beef Gregor was talking about better be worth it.